What's good, YouTube? It's your boy JY. We're here at the UK National Championships 2022. We've got another deck profile for you. So you finished top 64.
Did, yep.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Jacob from Leicester, and today I played Earth Machine.
You played Earth Machine?
Earth Machine, yeah.
Oh, the sauce!
The dozer control, as some call it, but yeah.
Well, why did you play Earth Machines?
So I've been testing the deck for a while now. I was playing Virtual for the longest time, but it's got fed up with the deck breaking all the time. So I built it up for a regional a few weeks ago, and I ended up doing really well. Ended up winning the event, so I thought I'd continue it and test it a little bit more, and ended up coming here and playing it here.
Nice. And what was your record after the 10 rounds of Swiss?
So after the 10 rounds of Swiss, I was X2, 8-2, with 7-1 on the first day, and then losing 1 and winning 1 on day 2.
Nice, nice. Okay, now show us what you played. Let's see the sauce.
So the Infinitrack package is first with 3 Harvester.
Yep.
Some people start cutting this down to 2 and a Dozer to 1.
Yep.
I still like playing 3 and 3. It's one of your 12 starters, and this is the best extender in your deck. Yep. So I still play 3 and 3. I wanted to maximize on seeing it, and I did what I wanted to.
Yep.
I only play 1 Trencher. Some people play 2, and I used to play 2. But I just found that with the new combos and how they go, you never really need one past turn 3. You don't use it turn 1 much anymore. So I could just keep it for turn 3. 1 Tunneler, it's part of Avarice. There's a reason your combo takes 20 minutes. And 1 Anchor Drill. So I can, it's for specific lines with Urgent Schedule, and allows me to make Dingirsu, so it can attach banished machines back and recur, and deal with untargetable, indestructible monsters. So that's the Infinitrack package. I play the Gear Frame build now, not the Metal Cruncher. So the combo is just way better. It allows you to go through Citadel and Fortress turn 1, as opposed to just more ways to Dozer. And you're the worst card in your deck by far, but you have to play it, Unclass Bar. It's the hard Garnet of the deck. I've lost games because I've top decked this as my 6th card going second. I'm looking at my hand and I'm like, damn, this hand is pretty good. And then I draw 1 card, I'm like, damn, this hand is not playable.
The new Garnet.
It is a new Garnet, so I'm not just running box anymore. So more Garnets, but better combo. 1 Fortress. I've been testing 1 and 2, but I just found that 1 was fine. 1 Citadel. It allows you to play under Scythe. I was Scythe locked today multiple times, and I ended up winning those games anyway, just because you play Citadel Control for a turn and then you win next turn.
Wow.
And Ruin Force doesn't come up all the time, but you can like equip this with Regulus, and then you can pop it yourself. And because it was draw like artifact, it floats into a Banish Machina, so it can resummon Banish Machinas. So just the advantage you get off this card as well is just really nice. And obviously 4600, so it's huge.
Yeah.
And then I play 3 Regulus. Obviously the big boost to the deck.
Yeah.
It can equip gear. The main combo equips Gear Frame, and then because Gear Frame's a union, it can summon itself back, and that's how you get another extender, and why you don't have to use Trencher turn 1 anymore. I don't play the field spell. I came into this event thinking a lot of people would play anti-spell, and I did see a lot of anti-spell, so I didn't want to lose to it. Yeah. So I was like, why take out the rotors for the rotors when I could just play 3 copies of the good card? And then for the trains, I play 2 Derrick Crane, 1 Bullet Train.
Yeah.
You can play 1 and 1. I like 2 Derrick Crane because it chain blocks, and it's just a really good extender.
Yeah.
And the last card, the last engine monster is just the box. This card sucks.
Yeah.
And then the only other monster hand trap I play is 3 Ash.
Yeah.
Was fantastic all weekend. I only played 1 Despia though, so it was fine. But my Despia matchup is like more than fine anyway. For spells, I play 3 Heavy Forward. It's just a rotor for Infinitrack, so it's 3 ways to both your starter and your extender. 3 Redeployment is the strongest card in your deck. This card on its own is both Machina and Infinitrack combo. The only upsetting part about this is it literally never resolves, because it's the biggest Ash bait ever. Other than this card, Urgent Schedule, which I main 3 of, I only won 3 die rolls over the weekend, so going second constantly, main decking Urgent Schedule, just allows you to push through boards so well. They have to Ash this or else they lose. And there's combos with this that get you Zeus lines with Dozer and like a starter in hand without even normal summoning, with like 7 cards in hand. Absolutely insane. And also it stops you from dying a lot of the time if you just pass it, say, going first. Then 3 Chalice. So I was playing Veilers before, but in testing I found that the deck goes second fine, but opening hand traps, just discard them, and then Punk and stuff play through so many hand traps anyway. If you don't have high impact hand traps, they're not really doing a whole lot, like Gamma and Nibiru. But I didn't feel like Nibiru was good enough against a wide spread of matchups, and I found that just they although they play through a lot, they end on like 1 or 2 interrupts, and so just being able to like Chalice Hulk so they can't Cyclock me, or Chalice Baron, or Chalice like 1 negate while you're comboing. It's been really strong all weekend, and it also plays around anti-spell by like quick play. Not that Veiler doesn't, but like drawing it as a 6th card is so much better. I also found that my worst matchup by far was Despia. Not Despia, Flunder. I can't do anything into Flunder. I have to normal summon to get my combo going. I'm a deck that plays out of the graveyard, so and I can't play under Barry Statue. So I wanted to play a card that would just hit the Barry Statue or hit the Riser. I didn't end up playing against Flunder, thank God, but just in case, they were phenomenal in testing against Flunder. And then 3 Droplet, so I maxed out on Droplet as well as Chalice. You draw this and you're never sad. It's like, the deck recurs, it gets so much advantage anyway. You end up with like 1,000,000 cards in your hand at the end of your turn, and you get free sack-offs with Heavy Forward as continuous spell. So you're just constantly getting free like sends off of Droplet, and it just breaks boards so easily. And then the final spell is Call by the Grave. It's Call by the Grave. It's the best card that's limited. And then just 3 Imperm. So I oftentimes just use this as another Chalice. I didn't really use it going second because I'd rather, so with the amount of Brave decks I ended up playing today, what does Imperming Griffin do? So I ash something and they chain Griffin, I Imperm it. I still have to play through that negate, so the Imperm doesn't really do anything. So instead I just held it and then use it as a negate on like their boss monster, so that I could just break their board through my like Machina Infinitrax. That's everything in the main deck, 45 cards. For the extra deck, I was back on 3 Goliath. I cut it for a little bit down to 2, and I didn't really miss it. But there were situations where I did, and it hurt the grind game a little bit. And it means now you can do, because people are playing Crow, you can play a line that only goes through 2 in the grave, and then if they DD Crow your tunneler, you still have 1 for the follow-up. Which really hurts if you lose all 3 of these. 1 Ballista. This card is like, obviously it searches the Ancient Gear box, but its second effect to make something 0/0 by popping a spell trap is like just insane all weekend, allowing you to pop like the Therion equip, the Ruin Force, to make something 0/0 so you can attack over something with lead for 6k. It allows you to get over like 1 attack monster and 3 defense position monster. It allows you to kill through that. It came up constantly. Also, it's just a really good bait, so it adds 2 cards to hand, and people get scared of that. Anger Knuckle, the deck's boss monster that half the time doesn't do anything and it just sits there. It's just a really good card. It allows you to make Dora. Platinum Gadget. This card I think resolved once all weekend, not because I didn't make it, just because it got impermed constantly. And because it's a light machine, it doesn't trigger Citadel, but you need this to play for the gear frame combo, or else you can't get into your Infinitrax without hard opening Dozer. And finally, I played a Nightmare Phoenix as a Link monster. It didn't come up at all, but it's meant to be there to like out Zombie World and Floodgates and stuff like that, which I can't really play through. But it also requires your opponent to not know what your deck does at all, because on Class Bar, which is your best way of getting a second monster on board, and Dozer, both of them lock you into machines. So you have to like urgent schedule summon 2 guys for this, or like Fortress for this. So you have to go like neg 3 to even summon this. But when they like zombie world you've lost anyway. So you have to play like a last ditch effort and hope it gets you there. And in testing, it did get me there. So I played it anyway. Would I cut it? Maybe for Blathnir, but it was fine. I played 1 Gear Gigant X. You can loop this twice with the Urgent Schedule combo to add your starter and an extender. Also, it's the way you bridge Gear Frame to Infinitrax. River Stormer, it's the most broken card in your extra deck. It's a rotor. It's an Overraptor for Earth Machines. Every single turn, just comes back, adds another guy. Comes back, adds another guy. So you have access to every card in your deck through this. Dingirsu. A lot of people are cutting this again because of Anchor Drill, but it outs untargetable, indestructible monsters, which did come up a couple of times this weekend. Because most of your deck outs things through destruction. If you can't do that, then it's a bit difficult. And it also allows you to, because Mirror Jade's running everywhere, they can banish your machines, and you kind of want them in your grave. So Dingirsu's attach effect, unironically, comes up more than the send effect.
Wow, that's crazy.
So you can, because it attaches any machine, so you can attach back your Anger Knuckle if they clear it, or your Bullet Train, or stuff like that. Earth Slicer, it allows you to trigger your own Citadel, and it allows you to clear as many cards as you want. It detaches as many materials as it has to pop cards on the field, targeting, which sucks a little bit, but it's fine. And you can make this as many materials as you want. Basically, I had a 4 material one at one point this weekend because I equipped Heavy Forward to it and a Goliath to it, and then popped 4, including itself. So Citadel Reborn, and I popped 3 cards. So it's just really, really good. Dora, people can't out this, and when they do, they can't kill you. So usually just sitting on this, because your graveyard gets like 7 or 8 activated effects on the follow-up on turn 3, your whole graveyard recurs itself. So if you can just sit on Dora and survive, you can usually win from that position. It doesn't matter if your opponent set up a couple of negates in return, Bullet Train adds back, Derek Crane pop, Ruin Force summons back, Citadel, River Stormer, Anger Knuckle. You get like 5 or 6 monsters engraved, which all bring back. Gustav, not just for time, it allows you to do lethal with Lieb. This is like the standard combo. Gustav burn for 2k, Lieb 6k, and then can attack multiple monsters, or just lethal for 6k. Just standard trains, and then the Zeus. Xyz's deck, I play Zeus. It comes up, sometimes it's a light machine, so you can't make it under the Dozer lock. But when you're doing the Machina combo, you can go Gear Gigant, crash, attack into something, make Zeus on top of it before you commit to anything else. So that was the main deck, obviously 15 card extra deck. The side deck was, I was like a little bit conflicted what I wanted to play for into this event, but I expected a lot of Punk Adventurer, but I didn't feel confident enough in maining the outs because of how much Despia and Flunder I expected. There was not nearly as much Flunder, but I did play against 3 Salamangreat players in the first 4 rounds, so Nibiru was MVP. Started this in, I saw it multiple times. I started this in a lot going first, actually. So because you draw 2 off Tunneler after thinning your deck by like 10-15 cards, the chance of seeing it is so high. And Dora makes itself unaffected by everything, so including Nib. So when you Nib, your Dora stays on field, and all of your other monsters clear themselves. And you can Anger Knuckle, it's a quick effect to summon back, so you can go Chainlink 1, Anger Knuckle, send itself a cost to target a level 10 in your grave, Chainlink 2, Nib, Dora stays, your monster gets summoned back, so you keep 2 monsters through Nib, so you Nib yourself and keep 2 monsters. It was fantastic all weekend, yeah. I only played 2 Droll, it was just because of space. Droll was surprisingly good this weekend. I didn't see it all that much, but obviously I played it at 2, I should have played it at 3. But I didn't want to cut a going first card for it. So it was like fine. It was fine. When I saw it, it was good. I played 3 Twisters. I was very scared of back row. The deck doesn't have a terrible matchup into non-floodgate based back row. A lot of back row is pops and targets and stuff like that. So you can dodge that a lot of the time. Especially with Citadel floating, and Fortress is fantastic into back row. But things like Flunder again, and face-up floodgates like Skill Drain goes in. Although you can play these in this deck, going first is where you play them. Going second, you can't really. And then the reboot, it's crazy. I can make Zeus wipe the field. Allows you to play through basically everything. And I play 6 going first cards, 3 anti-spell and 3 D barrier. Anti-spell actually actually cooked me in the top 64 match. In my second game, I drew double anti-spell, double imperm, Regulus, so I did not have combo. So I set, obviously I set 3 cards. I had to set anti-spell in standby phase. He had a hand of like 3 or 4 spells, including Chaos Space and Rite of Artemisia.
Yeah.
So like, I wouldn't have survived anyway if I didn't have combo. But then I drew redeployment for turn. So I drew a starter, but couldn't use it. So I set it, and he can kill me next turn, obviously. D-Barrier was crazy. Every time I saw this into a matchup, I was basically winning. And you see these cards so often as well. You thin your deck a lot, and you tunnel a draw too. So the chance of you seeing these side cards are really, really high. That's why I play so many though, because your end boards aren't particularly strong. Sometimes it's like just Regulus Anger Knuckle and a couple of sets, or like Dora and a couple of sets. But because it's usually enough, Regulus, particularly this format, is great. Rite of Artemisia, you can't activate another one. You can't activate monster effects either. Regulus on Branded Fusion is fantastic. So just having enough guys to survive is usually enough. So playing these like 1-turn floodgates, and the turn 3 on this deck is insane. You know, with Lieb, Dora, Gustav, Rivers, Earth Slicer, you clear fields so easily, and you leave them on basically nothing. So it was fun. Yeah, it was really good. Performed really well.
Awesome, thank you. Jacob, any shout-outs?
Yeah, so shout-outs to everyone at my locals, obviously, and everybody who helped me test. Major shout-outs to Connor Dwyer, Victoria, who is judging today, her first Nats. Some others are Kieran, Ethan, Stu, it's a bunch of other people. Like I remember the names, but I can go on forever. So big shout outs to everybody here as well. There you go. Sorry, I forgot. I meant to say you as well. Literally everybody. Literally everybody. All of the boys who helped me test and helped me make the deck together. The Sword, Soul, Punk, everybody was playing everything, so I managed to get a lot of testing against everything. They had to test against Earth Machines, so like it actually came up for a couple of them. So yeah, that's it basically.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Cheers, thank you.